What is Azure Communication Services?
So Azure Communication Services is a fully managed communication platform that enables developers to bring in their own custom communication experiences to connect with their customers and partners. So think of, a video call with your doctor, or maybe a voice call with your financial advisor, or even chat messaging with a support agent. Those are all communication experiences that our APIs allow you to build.
Okay, and can you tell me more about all the features that are included in those services?
Absolutely. Yeah. So I'm going to share my screen really quick, and I'll just show a quick slide that highlights a few of them. So we have voice and video calling. I touched upon that, where you're joining a video call. This is, increasingly common now with telehealth scenarios and education scenarios, especially given the global situation today. We also have chat messaging. We enable SMS messaging. So if you have ever done a online order, maybe you'll say, you'll get a text message that says, hey, your order's ready, or, confirm you're in the parking lot to pick up your order that you've just placed. So we do SMS messaging and other telephony as well. We can plug into the PSTN or public switch telephone network. So if you need to do traditional phone calls, that's something that we enable to join in with the voice and video calling. And then we also have a lower level SDK that allows communications networking and support with our Turn service if you want to build a more custom experience on top of the network communications networking, or our network traversal SDK.
Wonderful. So like you mentioned, let me be back on the screen so people don't think I'm a good voice. So like you mentioned, Teams and Azure Communication Services, they are kind of similar. So when someone should be using one or the other?
Yeah, and I definitely forgot to mention a big selling point for Azure Communication Services is that while we are an Azure service, we have the scale of Azure, we have the security and compliance of Azure. Being an Azure service and part of the Azure ecosystem, we are also built on top of the same backend services that power Microsoft Teams. So you know that these services are battle tested and have been used over and over again every day. So you can trust in the latency, a low latency calling experience and high quality for these services. And I think people get a little confused sometimes of, like you said, when to use Teams versus Azure Communication Services. When you think about the differences, Azure Communication Services, one of the big differences is that Azure Communication Services is a bring your own identity solution. So we are a platform offering. We don't have any identity requirements, meaning you can definitely use AAD, but you could also use, a Google identity or Facebook or, whatever custom identity you're already using. And we will work with whatever identity you're already using to build out these experiences. We're also a developer platform, so you will build these custom experiences into your apps and websites. This is not a full service offering. This is not software as a service. It is a platform as a service offering. So it gives you the power to plug into your existing infrastructure and build these custom experiences that fit your needs. Microsoft Teams is great if you want a fully developed software that you can just purchase and use and play, and it plugs into the whole Microsoft 365 ecosystem. So if you need integrations with other Office applications or want to build some automation with your M365 applications and workflows that are existing already, then Microsoft Teams is the way to go. So it just depends on what you want with your experiences. Do you need a custom experience, or do you need a fully built out experience that you don't have to put any effort into? I will say we have a new feature called Teams interoperability, which allows a user that's using the Azure Communication Services clients to call into an existing Teams meeting. So if you, not to confuse people too much, but there's this world that you could picture where you have, let's picture a classroom maybe. You have a teacher and the students are all using Microsoft Teams. They have their homework, they have their lesson plans, they have all of their infrastructure set up to use Microsoft Teams. And that's what they do for a virtual classroom day to day. But we'll picture the parents maybe don't necessarily need a full Teams license. They don't need to install the Teams app to meet with the teacher once in a while, right? If we have a parent-teacher conference or they need to just check in with the teacher, they don't need to install a full Teams application. So you can picture a scenario where the parents just log into the school website and are able to call in to a meeting with the teacher, and the teacher's still able to use their existing Microsoft Teams application, their existing workflow, their context. They have the students' files all within Teams, and they can both join the same meeting or the same call while still staying in the context that each party is most comfortable with. So, we have the ability to build these experiences that help you meet your users where they're at, whether it is a fully custom solution with Azure Communication Services or a fully built out solution with Microsoft Teams, or a combination of both where you have this Teams interoperability using Azure Communication Services.
Very, very interesting. So that's one scenario. Do you have any other scenario to share with us when people could use those services?
Yeah, we have, like I've been saying this over and over, the developer platform, and the fact that we're a platform makes it so you can build these really cool experiences. I think we did a demo last year where we had this, medical provider had a whole website, and the user would go on, and before creating an appointment, they would chat with a health bot and go over some of their symptoms and say, like maybe my nose is a little runny today, or I've been feeling some pounding in my heart, or whatever. And they would go through a chat with a bot, and the bot would help set them up with the right specialist and the right time and take care of some of the more administrative work. And then when the bot's knowledge ran out, or the chatbot couldn't help anymore, then the patient would be escalated to a human, and the human and the patient were talking together for a while, and then they were able to set up a call and plug into a video call, or even just an audio call at that point, and just talk either face to face or talk on the phone and go through some of the care plans. So it's kind of cool to see these experiences where you start plugging in other services to build out the custom experience, right? Plugging into bot framework, or plugging into, cognitive services to add in some translation. I think there's a lot you can do with Azure Communication Services as a platform offering.
Wonderful. And now we'll see a question from the chat.